Now moving on to teams that are trying to move their franchise forward by using their top prospects, calling them up. And what we've seen recently, especially from Jackson Holiday, he got called up, didn't play so well, got called back down. Paul Skeens just got called up today, and he's making his first start, I believe, May 11th. So here pretty soon, Paul Skeens, the number one pitching prospect in all of baseball. Kyle Manzardo, did I say his name right?
Yeah.
For the Cleveland Guardians, just got called up. And it prompted this question. How should teams handle top prospects? How should teams go about treating, how they bring them up through the minor league system, and how do they properly prepare them for the big leagues? And if they succeed or not, how does your MLB team handle it? How should they handle it? Dylan, I want to hear your take.
I think with top prospects, it's the $1 million question. It's the $1 million question we all need to ask ourselves. Is this player ready for the big leagues? And if that answer is no, you can't promote him. I don't care what the situation is. I think a few years back, the Cubs kind of did it with Nico Horner. They had every shortstop get hurt and didn't realize how thin their shortstop depth was, so he had to be called up in the heat of a playoff race. And that kind of set him back for a couple of years. He showcased some power and it hit a couple bombs coming up, and it was hitting 282. So he came up and performed. That following year, he was down. Then he had some injury problems, and then it took him a while to get back to where he was. So I think there are examples of when you need to based on depth, but there's also where you can kill a kid's psyche. And you look at Jackson Holiday. I'll go back to this example that you brought up. I don't know why you send him down. Because you ask him, what does he need to prove to you? Because he already proved that he's coming up. If he's proved enough to get to where you are, you say, okay, his game is ready at this level, this level, this level, and this level. That's why you called him up. You didn't, because otherwise you would made the team out of camp.
Okay, but he proved to you that he's not ready to hit big league pitching.
But okay, you know what? We'll two box this. We can sit here and go on with Jackson Holiday. If the kid is ready, if he has proven in the AAA in spring training, the reason they send him down to AAA is just it's always that service time stuff that's wonky. Oh, we want him to hit left-handed pitching. Oh, we want him to lead off. It's dumb things like that. So if he did those things, got enough to where he can get promoted to that next level, and it fails, you got to let him grow through it. This is a team that won many ball games last year.
They tried, Dylan.
No, they did. 30 at bats is not letting them grow.
Hold on. Sometimes
give him 100. Are you serious?
Sometimes a young guy needs to get his mind right. Jackson Holiday's a really good hitter.
Down? Okay, how do you know he's ready to come back up? Because he was raking in AAA when you called him up. How do you know as a GM, okay, he did enough. Let's call him back up to the show. You don't know that answer. You're taking another risk. You're wasting another option on his year. You cannot do that. You have to understand if he's ready for the big leagues and you evaluated him all across the board in AAA at all levels and you think he's ready for the show, you truly have to live by that and give him a shot. You can't bench him against lefties and play Jorge Mateo because he wasn't doing that stuff in Norfolk. He was playing every dang day at second base, hitting left-handed, right-handed, no platoon. He's not getting days off. He's facing pitchers. He's going out there and playing baseball. You cannot change the method when you get to the show. Give him 100 at-bats. Let him play his game. Because if he's ready from AAA, he's coming up. There's no other point. You truly do not know when he's ready to come back up. Because you think he was then. I don't know why you sent him back down.
I would do exactly what the Orioles did. As you stated earlier, if your prospect, especially a top prospect, is balling out in the minor leagues, he deserves to be given a shot at the big leagues. If you believe a guy is ready to help your ball club today, call him up. And if he doesn't perform, send him back to the minor leagues until you believe he got his mind right and is ready to come back up. The Baltimore Orioles handled Jackson Holiday perfectly. Let me finish. He was tearing up AAA, got called up, and wasn't very good. I'm being generous in my explanation of his brief MLB performance. Holiday only had 2 hits and 34 ABs with 18 strikeouts. Maybe the pressure got to him. Maybe MLB pitching was way ahead than what he faced in AAA. Regardless, he didn't perform. Send him back to the minor leagues to figure it out. And that same message goes for Paul Skeens and it goes for Kyle Manzardo. Let's not treat these guys with kid gloves. At the end of the day, you're calling guys up to help your ball club. If they can't hit, it's next man up in this business.
I think it goes back to the team he's on. You're still going to win games if he sits in the 8 hole and doesn't hit.
Okay, but you want him to bring value and help your club.
Then work with the hitting coaches during the week. Give them a couple days off and work at the big league level. See what it's like in the clubhouse to understand how you track pitchers, what goes into the day-to-day. Because I know in AAA, they're not diving into scouting reports daily because they don't even announce the starting pitcher for AAA games till 2 hours before first pitch.
Yeah.
So you don't even know who's starting those games. In the MLB, it's planned out. You get a week to prepare. You're sitting there and can truly break down a pitcher. That's something that he doesn't get at the AAA level. Let the kid at least watch and observe if you're going to bring him up. I think they should have just gave him more of an opportunity than 30 at-bats. That's what? Okay, if you get 4 at-bats a game, you're basically a week worth of starts. And you're like, all right, we've seen enough. Just over a week.
18 strikeouts.
So let the kid play.
You call guys up to help your ball club. And if they aren't helping you, next man up. It has to be next man up.
Kids. That's how you kill kids.
That's not how you kill kids. Send them back to the minor leagues to figure it out.
Then you have these 4A. That's how these 4A players develop. You rush a kid like Joe Adele. It's taken him 5 years and 3 trout injuries just to have a shot at a good year.
And how many times the Angels sent him back? Many times. Did they not?
Yeah, and it killed his psyche. He has no confidence.
He's fine now.
He has no confidence. You know what? Okay. You know what you need to –
hold on. Is your confidence getting better striking out 3 out of 4 times a game?
You have big league coaches to work with you, and you're understanding the reps of the game.
I think it's mental. I think it's more than that. I think it was mental for Jackson Holliday. I think the pressure of being the number 1 prospect in all of baseball, being the son of an all-star, Matt Holliday, I think that got to him.
That is
go to the minor leagues and let him clear his head.
That's an exception. I want to bring up one more thing on this prospect. Okay. You look at someone like a Michael Busch, minor league player of the year last year. Dodgers, sure, they brought him up, but they didn't need him last year. They gave him a cup of coffee. He showcased he could hit a little bit. And the Cubs were like, this guy's ready. Like, there's no up and down. We're gonna make him our first baseman of the future. So they traded a pretty darn good left-handed pitching prospect. And they got him ready. Like, they understood that this kid raked for so many years. He's figured out his approach. He understands the game. And they were going to let him play no matter what. Greg Counsell stuck him in there and let him play no matter what. Yeah, he had a tough 2-week stretch where he was not hitting the ball well.
Yeah, so this prompts – I just immediately thought of this. Light bulb went off in my head. So what the Cubs did, they said, hey, Michael Busch, you're on the opening day roster. You're our guy. Do we think the Orioles should have said – to Jackson Holliday coming out of spring, hey, you're our guy. Remember, he balled out in spring, and I agree. The Orioles shouldn't have sent him to AAA. The Orioles should have said, hey, you and Colton Cowser, you're balling out. You're on the team. You deserve but your performance in spring, you deserve to be on the opening day roster. I think a lot of this could have been avoided, to be honest.
And look at Anthony Volpe.
Yes.
He hit 200. The Yankees were like, we don't care. He won a Gold Glove, and now look what he's doing this year.
Yeah,
you let the kids play in the big league level.
Yeah. Now it sounds like I'm flipping sides here. I'm not. I stand on the belief if your guy is ready and he's ready to perform, then yeah, he's ready. If he's not, if he doesn't perform, next man up. But at the same time, I think they stumped Jackson Holliday by not bringing him, calling him to on the major league roster opening day because of his performance in spring. That's what spring is for. Spring is there to showcase what you can do against potential MLB hitting. And he showed it. I think mentally, psyche, it's gotten to him being a number 1 prospect in all of baseball.